Hey guys, Steinixos here. So today we'll be speaking about the Mori Mori no Mi Devil Fruit. Specifically, we'll be talking about what a fully mastered and unrestricted Mori Mori no Mi Devil Fruit could look like. Now, as you all probably already know, the Mori Mori no Mi is the woods, or more specifically, the forest logia type devil fruit. And thus what this means is that upon consumption of this devil fruit, the user becomes a forest human who is able to create, control, and transform into all of nature's flora at will. Now a recurrent theme throughout One Piece is that many higher level devil fruits are considered to be akin to natural disasters. I mean, for example, there's the Gura no Mi, which produces quakes to a degree that frankly might not even be possible naturally. And then there's the ice and magma devil fruits that are able to casually change the climate of an entire island. Then of course you have the soul fruit that can easily produce fearsome lightning storms. And of course the blue dragon devil fruit that can produce nightmarish gales. So in the face of all of these devil fruits that are described as forces of nature, the potential of the forest devil fruit, which as Green Bull himself describes, represents nature incarnate, should be pretty clear. So let's get right into breaking that down. Now a seemingly basic part of a Logia's toolkit is their ability to create constructs out of their element. So of course, the most basic and boring ones are static elements, such as a light sword created with the light fruit, or ice spears created with the ice fruit. So for this video, we won't even be going over the fact that even a base level Mori Mori no Mi should obviously be able to create any static construct out of plants, such as Usopp's pot green shurikens, or my favorite, the banana boat, even though Green Bull favors wooden spikes. However, the higher level and thus more interesting constructs are the ones that are animated. So for example, we see this with the creation of animals, such as seen with Karasu, the suit fruit user who can turn into and produce suit crows. And at a higher level, they can even create elemental clones, such as seen with the light clones created by Kizaru, the light devil fruit user. So right off the bat, as you should have already guessed, the unrestricted and fully mastered Mori Mori no Mi has access to all of these constructs. Like, just think of a creature, and with the nature fruit, it can be done. So for example, want a snake like those on Amazon Lily? Then just make plant snakes. How about a hydra type creature like Orochi? Well, a plant version of that can be made too. Or maybe you're in an arachnoid mood like Black Maria. Well, a plant spider can be constructed. But how about a dragon like the one from Punk Hazard? Again, a plant version of that can be created. Furthermore, because of the diversity of nature, the constructs created by the Mori Mori no Mi are far more interesting due to their varied composition when compared to other Logias. So for example, as seen by Poison Ivy, you can have things like strawberry mice, a cactus fighter, cabbage creatures, seaweed serpents, and a shrubbery dinosaur. And of course it goes without saying that more humanoid constructs can be made too, like a plant paladin, an army of wood zombies, or even just straight up a clone of oneself or others. Moreover, given the already built-in diversity of the One Piece world, and there is even an added layer of complexity of the constructs that can be produced by the Mori Mori no Mi. So for example, a natural wolf plant native to the One Piece world has, as a normal part of its body, a Rudolph-like red bulb on its nose that is able to produce a powerful shockwave that can flatten everything in a 3-mile radius. Similarly, just as how ridiculous as it may seem that the island fruit allows its user to become one with an island, making them a sentient island, again similarly, there is actually an archipelago of sentient omnivorous plant islands native to the One Piece world, known as the Boyne Archipelago. So even if I were just restricting the Mori Mori no Mi user to plants within the One Piece world, there is no shortage of wild and wonderful things. Furthermore, one of the first things you'll notice upon the formal introduction of the Mori Mori no Mi in Wano is the sheer diversity of plants that Green Bull produce even by just walking. Which makes sense given that, remember, he is a forest human and thus would have dominion over all of nature's flora. Now I mention this because it is an important clue for you to realize just how powerful the Mori Mori no Mi actually is. Because as almost everyone already knows, even in the normal world, world, there are many plants with special properties. Everyone knows about marijuana, also known as weed, a plant which contains a special compound that is able to make a person euphoric, or in common parlance, makes them high. So like poison ivy, a fully mastered and unrestricted Mori Mori no Mi user is able to utilize the effects of plants with special properties like weed in battle. Now of course, this results in the Mori Mori no Mi user being able to have a diversity of special effects. So firstly, in keeping with the marijuana example, by utilizing plants with the effect that cause euphoria, a high-level plant user like poison ivy can make an opponent high to the point where they no longer want to fight. Furthermore, again, like with marijuana, there are many plants that have the effect of increased sleepiness. There are even One Piece native in-world examples of such plants, as seen by Usopp's Pop Green Sleep Grass. So again, a high-level plant user can utilize this effect of plants to make a sleeping gas that can just knock an opponent out. But it goes even further, because as we know, there are many plants, including marijuana, but usually primarily mushrooms, that have the effect of causing a person to hallucinate. Now, it is important to note that mushrooms technically are not plants. However, for anime and comic purposes, they are usually treated as such, thus they fall under the purview of our unrestricted Mori Mori no Mi Devil Fruit. And I mean again, even in the One Piece world, there are cacti, such as the mescal cactus in Alabasta, which when eaten are able to induce hallucinations as bizarre as seeing a tsunami while in a desert. So suffice it to say, a high-level user of the Mori Mori no Mi plant power, like Swamp Thing, would be able to utilize these hallucinogenic properties of plants to trap their opponent in vicious hallucinations, and through this general effect on the mind, the plant user can even synthesize pheromones that can control a person, which as seen by poison ivy, is usually done by making the person hallucinate that they are in love with the plant user. And note, as poison ivy demonstrates, this works on both men and women. And again, due to nature's diversity, this mind control can also have other mechanisms, as demonstrated by poison ivy, who is able to create a mushroom neural network within a person's body, allowing her to hijack control of that person's body. But it doesn't end there, because even in the real world, there are many poisonous plants that are extremely deadly. For example, these include the water hemlock, the plant poison most famously known for the fact that it was used to execute Socrates. And then there is also the deadly nightshade, also known as Atropa belladonna, which is a sweet but deadly poison, often used in assassinations. And of course, who can forget about the rosary pea, a plant poison with no known antidote and which is so deadly that just 1/10 of a milligram can kill an adult human. And even in the One Piece world, the deadliness of plant toxins are known very well, likely most notably with the amoedake, a species of lethal mushrooms, which Chopper, who did not know of its lethality, fed to Dr. Hirolook, ironically, in hopes of helping him cure his disease. So suffice it to say, when you saw beautiful flowers blooming with the Mori Mori no Mi's introduction, you probably did not realize that this was the messenger that tells you, in effect, the Mori Mori no Mi user, like Magellan, is actually a poison human. And this is demonstrated by high-level plant users like poison ivy, who due to having access to all of these plant toxins, can kill an individual with just a touch. And furthermore, remember, the Mori Mori no Mi is a Logia-type devil fruit, which allows the user to integrate their very body with their element. So this not only means transformation, this also means that their very physiology can be integrated with their devil fruit, such as seen with the fact that Green Bull is able to not eat for over 3 years, because like a plant, he's able to photosynthesize all the nutrients that he needs. Thus, like poison ivy, the unrestricted Mori Mori no Mi user is not only able to just produce poisons, but they in fact also have these poisons running through their very veins, thus making the unrestricted Mori Mori no Mi user immune to all poisons and their very blood deadly. But again, it doesn't stop there, because the Mori Mori no Mi allows for an even higher diversity of attacks and special abilities due to the physiology of plants. So for example, conventional wisdom is that plants plants at the very least can absorb and emit methane. Thus a high-level Mori Mori no Mi user would be able to do fire attacks such as seen done by Swampfire, a plant humanoid alien from Ben 10 that does these fire attacks by igniting the methane which it produces. And it's not just fire attacks, because as we've seen with Usopp's skull exploding grass, as well as his exploding pine cones, and his firework flowers pop green, there are several species of plants native to the One Piece world whose physiology naturally makes them able to create explosions. So this power to create explosions is also under the control of our unrestricted Mori Mori no Mi user. Similarly, we know that Green Bull through plant physiology is able to collect light energy to carry out photosynthesis, and there are even plants in the One Piece world, such as the elegant sunflowers in Dressrosa, as well as the sunlight tree Eve from the Fishman arc, which have been shown to be able to emit this collected light energy. So like Mimosa from Black Clover using her plant magic, or any grass type in Pokemon, an unrestricted Mori Mori no Mi user would be able to concentrate this light energy into the attack known as a solar beam. And then we know that plants, due to their physiology, can directly absorb water to aid in their growth, which as we know already forms the basis for Green Bull's attack, where he uses his vines to absorb the water from an opponent's body, thus dehydrating them to a shriveled husk. However, what you might not have realized is that native to the One Piece world are plants that are able to use this principle in reverse. That is, they are able to take water from within themselves and release it into the external environment, such as seen with Usopp's lethal green star, Sprinkle. So an unrestricted Mori Mori no Mi user can actually use water-based attacks that could even be more powerful than Jinbei's ocean current shoulder throw based on how much water they have stored. And again, if they wanted to, our unrestricted Mori Mori no Mi user, like Poison Ivy, instead of using vines to absorb the water from an opponent, he could just send out sentient blood-sucking plants to the opponent and drain them of their fluid. Or using this same principle, like Kuruma from Yu Yu Hakusho, he could just plant a seed inside an opponent and allow it to grow from the inside out by absorbing the opponent's bodily fluids and nutrients. And in this same breath, just as how we know an awakening of a paramecia allows a user to affect things outside of themselves, an unrestricted Mori Mori no Mi user, as shown by Swamp Thing, could even use plants ingested by a person, such as a salad, to turn an opponent into a plant themselves. Furthermore, the only flaw of most normal Logias is the fact that it doesn't allow healing of their true body. So for example, after Aokiji lost his true leg, he could not make a new one. He could only make an ice replacement. And this restriction can somewhat be rationalized by the fact that most Logia's elements are not organic. However, plants are organic matter that through almost every series are known for their healing and regenerative properties. So for example, in Black Clover, Mimosa is capable of healing almost any mortal wounds through her plant-based magic. Similarly, Hashirama from Naruto is regarded as a legendary ninja, able to heal almost any wounds to his body, largely thanks to his mastery of wood style, and as such his so-called Hashirama cells and their amazing regenerative property that literally carry the latter part of the Naruto Shippuden plot. And again, we already know that Green Bull's very physiology, that is, the workings of his body, is integrated with his devil fruit, given that he's able to make and use nutrients through photosynthesis. So like any high-level plant user such as Poison Ivy or Swamp Thing, the unrestricted Mori Mori no Mi would allow for high-level healing and regeneration of the user's true body, granting them regeneration on par with or even superior to that of the mythical Phoenix devil fruit, which allows its user to regenerate their true body from anything, even their wiener being chopped off. And again, this absolutely fits, because as Green Bull himself said, the Mori Mori no Mi is a source of life rivaled only by the seas. Now, I could say much more about an unrestricted Mori Mori no Mi devil fruit, such as the ability to purify harmful substances, ranging from poison ivy's ability to purify normal toxins through the use of special plants, or even up to the ability to purify all harmful substances in the material world as granted to the user of even a sapling of the world tree from the book-eating magician, or the ability to enter more nature logia forms separate from the base wood form, such as the rose petal flower logia form as seen done by Ruby from RWBY, and even being able to enhance observation haki to another extreme through the ability to be able to integrate with all plants around the globe, allowing full knowledge of what goes on anywhere on the planet, like Swamp Thing. But we won't get into all of that because by now I think you should have already gotten a pretty good idea about what a fully mastered and unrestricted Mori Mori no Mi devil fruit would look like. But anyway, that's the video guys. Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section down below. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. But anyway, see you guys next time.